Greetings from Dystopia, episode 19. I had to stop and think for a second. It's actually a nice day out. Again, the sun is out, much warmer than yesterday. It's probably 58, 59 right now. I know somebody's going to ask. I have it, the buff in my pocket. There's actually a lot of cars out here today, so we'll have to see how many people I run into. I was going to hang a right here and go on the outer loop trail, but I can hear a family back up in there. I can always hear the kids yelling, you know. It's kind of a cool one this morning. If you haven't talked to somebody in a while, pick up the phone, reach out. I just had a phone call on the way over here that kind of caught me off guard and made my day all at the same time, so it's totally worth it. So yeah, reach out to somebody I haven't talked to in a while. I think I will do that when I'm done here. So when we get parked up down the road, we're going to talk a little bit about food. Been messaging back and forth on Facebook with a Facebook friend, and this kind of put in his mind what I was talking about making sure that you have basic food supplies around. So we've been talking a little bit. Hold up. Okay, so we're back. Group of mountain bikers. So yeah, I talked about maintaining, basic food staples and how we were kind of raised, or at least I learned a different mindset from my parents on keeping food and etc. And so there was a good bit of talking about dehydrated and freeze-dried foods and etc. And I recommended a specific company just because of my experience with their stuff and the quality of their foods. And now I got more hikers up here. Well, not hikers, but people just out for a Sunday stroll on a Saturday. So I guess I'm going to have to go static here and let them get ahead down the trail. As long as nobody's coming up behind me here. Back that way. But yeah, so I'll go through a couple of those, and he wanted to see like the prep, how you would actually make one of the, just to talk about how you prepare them and stuff like that. So I brought a few of these soup and chili mixes that company makes. We'll talk about all that in a little while. And because I need a lunch anyway, so what the hell? Get a twofer out of it. Show you guys something and I get my lunch. So yeah, we'll be back cooking in the van. Too bad it's not down by a river. How about that, Jim? You happy now? Alright, get to walking here. I don't like getting stuck behind people. Whoop. Almost tripped over that rut. I typically move along pretty quickly on the trails now. And see, it's amazing when you get lighter how much quicker you can move. But yeah, most people just tend to lollygag on trails. They look down, they scuff their feet, and keep your head on a swivel. A, situational awareness. B, you're going to see something that you might learn. Another talk about bird book. I had a question why I know so many birds. I don't. I see a bird and I remember the general shape of the bird and the color markings, and then I go back and look it up. Typically I look on my phone, but I did find my bird book last night, which was almost always in the van, so it's back in there now. I'll show you that one. And that's it. Hope everybody's doing well today. Keep getting the views are kind of starting to uptick a little bit on the channel, which is good. Still not a lot of comments. You guys, some of you seem to prefer PMing me. It's fine with me, but like I said, I'd rather kind of drive the questions publicly there. Get you guys talking a little bit, creating that community. And plus it gives me, additional flow to see like where if there's a weak spot in knowledge, or maybe one of you doesn't know something that I do and I can share it on. Same thing, you guys, it's a good opportunity to teach each other as well. So I'm coming down to my one creek crossing here. This one is always wet. This is the one that mountain bikers got it into nothing but straight mud hole right there. Mud hole, not pole. So here's some more of the ever-changing roots on these trails, which is like I was saying in the extra that I filmed yesterday. I keep saying filmed. I think that's an age thing. But yeah, that I recorded yesterday. Talking about the challenges on this trail, what makes it so nice for hiking and trail running. And I can still see that couple through the woods over here. If I can slow down a little bit. I don't really walk that fast, but most people seem to lollygag. Oh yeah, this pair. I think this pair of shoes is nearing their life. It's pretty good. I'm totally tickled with these Ultras. This pair, I would have to add it up, but I bet surely they've got close to 400 miles on them now. Seems to be the magic number with a lot of shoe brands. But yeah, not a lot of padding. I can feel the rock plate in the right one is cracked. Hold on. Another mountain biker. But yeah, I can tell that the rock plate in the right shoe, it's cracked. It's starting, my whole foot is starting to bend at the heel point. Told you, there's a lot of people out here today. She smelled nice. I don't know what that's. It's like vanilla and cherry. Very sweet. But yeah, there's a lot of people out here today. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 with her. It is a weekend. Give you that. I smell poop. People poop, not animal poop. Anyway, yeah, but when you look at the comparison to the previous year out here, there is a lot more people out. Which, it's kind of like the meme I posted this morning. Government, stay at home. People who haven't exercised since 1997. Looks like the start of a marathon. That's what's going on out here now. It just kills me. The preserves I go to where you might see 1 or 2 people, on an entire 12-mile hike. I'm 1.2 miles in. We're already past 9. Not cool. Get out of my preserve. But this is a really nice preserve. So, yeah, anyway, so I'll total up the miles on these shoes. I know I got a few more. I could probably wear them another week or so. But with that rock plate cracking, more people coming. Gonna pause. More trail runners. Here comes 2 more. Hey, good morning. Morning. I should have asked how many were in the group. Typically somebody will say, so there's a good tip for you when you're out in the woods. If you're hiking with a group as somebody comes by you, just tell them 4 in the group or 2 in the group or just me. So that that person knows that nobody's behind you and they are also running the wrong way on the trail. We talked about that the other day. Cyclists go clockwise, hikers and runners go counterclockwise, at least in this preserve. Which is fine with me, actually. I don't know why, but I prefer, if it's a loop trail, I prefer to walk it counterclockwise. Maybe I watched a little too much NASCAR when I was younger. All left turns. Some of you guys might remember this tree. It's the one that fell behind me right after I walked through it over the winter. I hear more runners coming. Are they runners or are they just a family? We'll see here in a minute. You can probably hear 171 over here to my right, the highway. They are up on top of the hill. Coming, sounds like they're coming down. Kind of hard to tell. Yep, they're coming down. Mountain bikers, hold on. Step off. Chickened out and went around it, huh? How many in the group? Huh? Just you? Okay. So there you go. So since I thought about it, I asked him. So, was he talking to himself? Ich habe einen deutschen Akzent gehört. Heard a German accent. So I probably should have said something in German, but that's okay. Either he's by himself talking to himself, or he passed somebody heading the same direction I'm heading. But you saw how that worked, right? The biker came the right direction, so coming towards me. It's just a lot safer like that. Plus, a lot of times, particularly in the winter, because I don't expect anybody out here, I usually have headphones in. And I've had a few people come up behind me over the winter and scared the hell out of me. Going here just a little bit farther. And I got a cross connect trail as we go under another tree. I'll take that cross connect back. Hiker, hold on. Going the wrong way. That's the thing, when you go to a park, even if it's one you've been going to for years, stop at the information sign and read what's up there. Because like this one clearly breaks it out, do's and don'ts, breaks it down. Hikers, mountain bikers, they give a clear-cut set of rules. Granted, it's not really a rule, it's more of an etiquette thing, so it's not like you can write somebody a ticket for doing it as much as I would like to and just beat some ass. It's just etiquette, but it's the cyclist versus hikers thing makes sense. I've meant to catch this on film, on video a few times, never did. How that vine corkscrews up that tree. Speaking of etiquette. I'll have to look and see if that got caught on the video. As soon as I said speaking of etiquette, I inhaled a bug. Started choking on the damn bug. And I caught up to that couple in front of me again. About 100 feet up on the trail. Alright, so I'm coming up on 15 minutes here. I will stop this right here. See you guys back in the van. Alright guys, welcome back. We're back in the van. Got this stupid clip keeps rubbing my head here. I'm gonna move that one temporarily. Somebody joked and said I should call the van, just start calling it the lab. Welcome back to the lab when I'm filming in the van. I'll put a picture below. Found my first tick of the year. I hate ticks. I don't know what what the purpose of a tick is. I've got to figure that one out. But I actually saw it climbing up my pant leg and threw it on a container that's over next to me here and took a picture of it. So I'll post a picture up. But I hate ticks. The only thing I found them to be good for is coffee cup fell over. It's spreading disease. So, Bill, I forgot to show you the new steak hammer since you asked yesterday. I forgot to film it. That's it. High impact brass head. I guess this is some form of aluminum alloy. It's got the tip for pulling the steaks out. UST, I think that is the company. But yeah, I saw it like a day after I threw away the other one. I saw it at Sierra Trading Post and I was like, I need one. Price was $15, something like that. It's like, all right, it might not even have been $10. I don't recall. But yeah, so now I got another steak hammer. So there, I didn't forget you. Put it back in the little hole. I mentioned my bird book earlier, and of course I took my glasses off. I was trying to avoid the light reflection in my glasses. So this is actually the Audubon Society's book. And this one is to the eastern region. I also have the western region, but I don't carry it. Don't carry it around. This particular one, 1977 reprint. This is the 20th reprint. Yeah, reprinted 18 times. The 20th printing, which is this one, was February of 1992. So I've carried that book that long. That's these books that have these plastic covers on, plasticized, whatever you want to call it. They last forever. You just take good care of them. I was talking about how I will make note of key features on birds. And just early on in the book, it breaks down the key features to remember on a bird to make it easier to come back and actually look through the photo guide. Like there's your general flight shape or your stationary shape. And you can come through and then go through and find the appropriate bird. Worth their weight in gold, although I do have the Audubon Society's app on my Android, which is actually really good because the app does a couple things the book doesn't. Number one, if you hear a bird and you think it's this bird, you can look it up in the app and play the call. And it will play, several different versions of calls because most birds don't just, like cardinals, they don't just go purdy, purdy, purdy. They make several other calls as well. So the app gives you the chance to hear the call to know, oh yeah, okay, that definitely is that bird. Very good. I've heard there's another app, and I can't remember the name of it. I haven't actually gone and looked at it yet, that you can actually whistle the call, and the app listens to it and then says, well, it's one of these two birds, and then offers you the suggestion of its version of the call. So that would be a handy little trick to have. Okay. Yesterday I mentioned a 10,000 milliamp hour battery pack that had a flip out solar panel. Immediately that got a comment. So it's by Sunjack, and they make a couple different versions, but this one is 10,000 milliamp hours, 5 volts at 2.4 amp max input for charge. The output max is 2.1 amps. So it will charge most of your stuff. I've had this one four years now, 3 years. and it's worked out really great. The inputs, as I open the jack up, I should say the input is a micro USB. That's the center one. And then the two USBs are output, so make sure you have the appropriate cables. So in this case, you're going USB-A to whatever you need. USB-C, USB micro, Thunderbolt, whatever you need to charge. You need to make sure you have your adapters. So yeah, this one charges through the micro USB, or, and this is my favorite part of it, tick, 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 tick. It has its own solar panel. Worth its weight in gold, because I throw it up on the dash, let it charge. It takes about an hour. Actually, right now I am fully charged, but it is catching a charge. So I will lay it back down there and let it charge up a little bit while I'm sitting here talking. Now that I've seen that tick, I'm, everything's like itching, and hate them. Okay, so I mentioned I was talking to someone on Facebook through private messages talking about food and the availability of food. For camping and etc., or backpacking, I'm a huge fan of a lot of the freeze-dried meals. Mountain House, there's a ton of name brands. But I also I see that dimming thing. I need to work on that as I turn away. It tries to focus on lighting my face, but there. Anyway, one of my favorite ways to do it is actually dehydrated meals. Freeze-dried typically end up a little lighter as far as your bulk carry weight, but I don't know why. I just dehydrated food. I just kind of stick to it for a majority of things. So I mentioned to Jeff that I would talk about it a little bit today. One of my favorite brands is Harmony House Foods for dehydrated. They also have some freeze-dried stuff. Their website is gohhf.com. gohhf.com. So Go Harmony House Food. I buy from them dehydrated vegetable, dehydrated fruits. I buy TVP, textured vegetable proteins, so soy-based proteins. And they have flavored soy-based proteins. I can't remember all of them now. But they have ham, chicken, beef, and they all have funny little names to them, and I'm just drawing a blank on it. What I brought out today, just to kind of show you, and this is just one of their kits that you can buy. I like this one because it's a variety of soups and chilies. So it's always quick and easy. What happens is they come in these little packages. It's broke down when you buy the backpacking kit. It's broke down in little package per meal. This is I think it's supposed to be 2/3. Yeah, it's supposed to be 4 servings. Come on. It's 51. So this one is the Veggie-licious veggie soup. It's 51 calories per serving. You're going to eat the entire packet just because of the calorie need. I have not found anything. Now, I can safely say this. I guess you could say it is an endorsement. It's not a paid endorsement. Harmony House is my favorite freeze-dried and dehydrated vendor. With the exception of mom and pop Mennonite and Amish shops in Wisconsin, I always manage to find vegetables that blow everybody else out of the water. But flavor-wise and everything, I've not had a single complaint with Harmony House. So we talk about different ways to cook these. It doesn't get much simpler. So we'll stay with the Veggie-licious Veggie Chili because I actually like that one. It's my number 2. My number 1 is over here, hydrating. There's 2 ways to prepare these. The number 1 for this one is you pour the contents into a saucepan, add 2 cups of water, bring to a boil, reduce heat, and simmer slowly for 10 minutes. Cover, remove from heat, let stand for 5, season, stir, eat. Hiking, backpacking, or if you just don't want to spend that amount of time later. Like, I knew I was going to want to eat, so when I came back to the van, I immediately opened the bag and added to the top of the contents of water. So it's just sitting here pre-soaking. I've found with most of them, pre-soaking an hour is about what you need. Ooh, man, did I get that water level close. It's actually just a little high. But, oh wow, I got it to seal too without leaking. Do I trust myself to do the real test? Yay, it's not leaking. They are a Ziploc bag. Snap and seal. I forgot what you're not supposed to say Ziploc, it's a brand name, but whatever. So yeah, you just fill it with water up to the point you can seal it, keep it in your jacket pocket or in a pocket on your pack, but leave it outside the pack. That way if it does leak, it's not in your pack. Yeah, you pre-soak them for half an hour to an hour, and makes it much easier. So I'll start cooking that one up in a little bit. Harmony House on their website and through a lot of backpacking forums and homesteading and off-grid type forums, Facebook groups, and etc. They always list recipes to tell you, you need a quarter cup of corn, a quarter cup yields, whatever the yield is, and I think a quarter cup is like a cup and a half rehydrated. But yeah, it gives you the recipes to take everything when you buy the big box, or if you buy the bulk bag of corn, beans, chive, whatever you buy, it will tell you what amount of each you need to complete the recipe. You rehydrate them, cook them up, and they're very good. I've found the flavor in Harmony House is, like I said, probably the best, with the exception of going to the Amish and Mennonite stores and buying it directly. I think there it's because it's fresher. Not to say that Harmony House isn't fresh, but even the mixed vegetables, the vegetable soup mix that I get from a Mennonite store up in Wisconsin it's really good, and that's actually the one that I use in my backpacker pad thai. Just it tastes fresh once it's rehydrated. So yeah, got a few minutes here till that's ready to cook up. I talked about my bird book. I showed the hammer. I talked about the solar panel. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that was on the list today. We were talking about titanium a while back, and was it Ken? Somebody asked me what my favorite one is right now. Obviously, I love Snow Peak, but for carrying around in my general pack, if it's not the GSI Halulite Minimus kit, I carry around a Toaks. The Toaks brand titanium. A lot of people know Toaks is a little cheaper than some of the other ones. What I like about this kit is this particular one comes apart and you have a small coffee cup with silicone band. So it's a hot band, so you can grab it while it's hot and hold it. Forgot the volume of this one. 400, I think it is, or 450 milliliter. It's a perfect cup of coffee size. And then the smaller Toaks titanium pot. Another trick I will give Toaks that a lot of companies have not done is if you're cooking with the lid, a lot of brands, you put the lid down and after a minute or two the grip just falls over. The advantage with Toaks is it slides to one side. There's a little lock pin shape, and when you slide it over, it can't fall over. Snow Peak got around that by putting a silicone rubber tab that goes through the lid. So that's how Snow Peak worked around it, and Toaks does it with the sliding lock. And this, I think, also was 400, no, this is a 500 milliliter pot. So yeah, that must mean that this was 450 because it's a much wider diameter than the other one. But yeah, the Tokes is pretty much my favorite, and it has the grip. One of my Snow Peaks is also a very similar configuration, also has the separate cup and pot, but it is a 750 milliliter pot, so it's nicer to have the bigger pot sometimes. So it kind of depends on what I'm going to be doing. I think obviously Snow Peak is a better quality, but Tokes, I'm not going to diss Tokes either. Tokes is a very well respected brand, and I like their little sack, although yeah, it's extra weight if you want to argue with that. All right, I'm going to pause this. I'm going to get the soup on, bring you back when it's done. So just to show you an alternate configuration, I kind of moved it over here where it's a little closer to the window, so the cross breeze takes the heat out that much quicker. I was just looking at this thinking, I have those magnetic balls up on the ceiling. I should make a heat panel that I can click up there just to, keep the heat off of the ceiling a little bit. That's the thing with, you start doing it, whether it's camping or hiking, you start coming up with little tricks to minimize space to make things more efficient, So yeah, you just got to kind of keep playing, and you learn as you go. Almost to a boil there. I think I'll be able to finish out this little can. Just heating up water for coffee or stuff like this. The cans last me 5-6 total days. If I'm just heating up water. Whoop. Now we have to come down to a simmer. So one thing I've found with the Snow Peak, keeping a simmer is a little more difficult than with some of the other brands. We've got people walking up over here. So it's pretty interesting to see. Oh, she just figured out that I was filming in the car. Yeah, so we just got to simmer for a minute or two. And we're done. I'm getting out my spoon kit here. I should have had that done already, but I didn't. To make sure nothing sticks. I don't need to tell you how to cook, do I? It did. One of the disadvantages to pre-soaking kind of popped in my head as I poured everything into the cup. Wet. You're not getting your full 2 cups of water anyways by pre-soaking, so you have to add water. But make sure that once you pour it into the cup out of the bag, put water back in the bag, shake it up, rinse it out, because the soups do have dry seasoning, and because you wet it in the pack, it will occasionally clump up on the bottom. So, rinse it out to get all of the extra seasoning out. And just make sure that you get everything. All right, nice and tomatoey too. Back in a minute. All right, guys, I stopped to take a picture of it. I'll put the picture down below. Hopefully it shows up pretty good. But, you know what? Lunch is ready. I'm going to eat lunch. I'll get this out to you guys tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow, okay? Be good. Be well. Episode 20 tomorrow. Have a good one. Because I know somebody's going to ask, what does it look like? There you go. Nom, nom, nom.